All right. Hello, hello, hello. I am early. I wanted to pop on a little early and give people time to come on. Let me see the comment section here. That is our link. Let me also put it here where you can just go right here to the Beauty Box YouTube. And I also posted it. Hey, Lori Jones, how are you, beautiful? Lori, can you say something so I can see what it will look like? If you will show up. Hey. So, hey, Bree, how are you, beautiful? Y'all, do you see the YouTube? Hit the YouTube, Bree, and see if you can get over there with that link and say hi in the chat. I'm trying to get all the technical stuff together. Can you do that for me, Bree Bree? Bree Bree is my son's amazing girlfriend. Hey, Lori. Let me see. See if y'all can get on that YouTube link. I want to see. Hey. It is 7:57. So I see people on here, but I'm wanting you guys to go to the YouTube. That's why I linked it. I'm going to I got the phone here. I got the computer here. I got the iPad here. We got a lot going on. I even have a second phone. A lot going on. Let me go here and see what you guys are saying. Recent activity. Okay, the YouTube live works. So, okay. Can you comment from YouTube, Bree, so I can see that it shows up on this other screen? Have a couple minutes. Just getting together. Oh, there you are. Thanks, Gigi. Hey. All right, I see you. Thank you. Hello, YouTube. Why does it say hello, YouTube? All right. All right. So make sure you guys go to YouTube if possible, because otherwise it's kind of weird. All right, all right, all right. I am really excited to share. Let's see, down, 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 down. It's happening. All right, it's 7 o'clock. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. The YouTube is where the really deal is. So stay on YouTube if possible, because that's where I'm doing something. Okay, I'll do it like that. I'll do it like this. Y'all are like, what is she doing? Oh no. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, it is 7 o'clock straight up, and I am so excited to be here. My name is Cheryl Banks, and I'm the founder of the Beauty Box for Him, Women Empowerment and Bible Studies. And today is WOW, WOW, Women of Worth, Women of Wisdom. And you're going to hear some words of wonder. Love the W play, the play on the W. I'm so excited to introduce my friend and customer, R.L. King, author, comedian, singer, poet. She has a lot going on. She's a native Houstonian. And as I read her book, Dropped, Broken, and Restored, she taught me some stuff about Houston. Okay, so y'all, if you're Houstonians or, y'all, is my thing showing right? Okay, there you go. Because I want to make sure you guys see me. There you go. Can you hear? All right. Make sure. So if you can, go ahead and go to the YouTube post, the YouTube channel that I posted right there, the Beauty Box for Him, so that you can see us live on the screen as intended. This little thing, I don't know, my little screen, my little phone's going on. And there you go. So I'm going to bring her on, but I just wanted to, the way I met her, y'all, I think it was her birthday and we were at the nail salon. And you know me, I've never met a stranger. And I don't think she has either. So we just started to chit chat, and we have been fast friends ever since. She's been through a lot since I met her that day. And y'all know, so have I, because you know my story. I'm going to bring her on. I love her. You're going to love her. You're going to love her. She just has plenty of personality. She's so authentic. She's down to earth. So I would like to bring on screen my friend, poet, singer, author, all the things, R.L. King. Here we go. Here you go. Isn't she beautiful? I love her hair. Say hello to the lovely people.
Hello, lovely people. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
I am so excited to have you. And as I was reading your book, you taught me a couple of things that I'm embarrassed kind of that I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know you were from Third Ward. I'm right over there, Griggs and Scott. Those apartments, 4,000 Griggs, Spanish Village. We used to have a pool in the middle. I think now they filled it up with dirt. Yeah, I grew up over there until we moved when I was like 6th or 7th grade. And I knew Jefferson Stadium. I did not know the name was not Jefferson Stadium. And you were like, everybody thought it was Jefferson Stadium. What's the name of it?
Jefferson
Stadium. Mm-hmm. So it was just so interesting to find that out. And then some of the buildings and places you were naming, I was like, I know that. So it's kind of exciting to read a book about some of the places that I know, like the very neighborhood I grew up in. So welcome to.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I've been excited. You've been building me up so high. I'm just like, just how am I going to stay up on this pedestal right now? But
I know. And what it is, and we're recording, so it's going to be seen over and over by different people in different places. So I'm excited about it.
I am sure.
So I read your book, and let me just share this is about the author. R.L. King is a mother, grandmother, and minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. She is retired. What? Now a homemaker, gourmet cook. She is a breast cancer survivor, a singer, a comedian, an author, published poet on poetry.com, and mentor. In her spare time, she enjoys family, friends, spending time with her puppy that I hear about all the time, Adobe named Kai. Is that right? How you say it, Kai?
Yes.
Yeah. R.L. also enjoys writing, good gospel music, clean, fun comedy, and tending to her many plants. Plants come to my house to die. So you're gonna have to train me, okay? She has a heart for humanity, the children, the hurting, the homeless, the least, the lost, and the lost left out and forgotten. She has a heart for the people who seem to be unseen. So welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And we're going to start. We're going to start. And what I want you to do is just to tell me a little bit about yourself, just a little bit about yourself. And what made you write this book? What was the reason that you wrote this book?
I wrote the book because, and I always say something told me. I was giving my testimony to so many people, and I got tired of repeating myself. And something said, just put it in a book. So you know what that something was, right? The Holy Spirit said, put it in a book. So I started writing the book, and then I think that was in 2021, and then COVID struck. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2021. And see, COVID cancer. And then my mom started declining in her health in 2021. And so I had the 3 C's going on. And it put a pause on the book. But I already knew what I wanted to put in it because I had lived it. And it was just like carrying around a whole lot of baggage that I needed to just put down so I could lay it aside. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are carrying around things from their childhood, into adulthood. And, we just need to find a way to get that out, to vent it out, because back when I was growing up, you didn't tell everything. You didn't talk to a lot of people about your business.
Yeah.
And, as I got closer to God and Christ and learned more about him and got a real relationship with him, because I always knew him, and got into a real relationship, he just said, you know what? He said, just put it in the book and let the people read it. It'll help somebody. And so far, I found out people are being helped by it.
Yeah.
And, because, it's just some people can afford to go to therapy. I couldn't. So I had to be my own therapist. I'm an analyst by nature.
Yeah.
September baby. So we analyze everything. So I was just tired of repeating the same thing to people. And I said, you know what? Just get the book.
Yeah. I think that's so good. Journaling, writing things down is so important. It is therapeutic. I feel like I don't journal every day, but I try to journal things that mean a lot to me, or things that I'm stressed out about, that carry a lot of weight, so I can see how God worked it out. I can go back and see, he did it once, he can do it again. So let me just share this, just the preface. How do you say it? I don't know. The purpose of this book is to highlight my life experiences and the journey that it has taken me to get here. I've had many battles in spiritual warfare from childhood to adulthood, and God has fought them all. It would take a whole nother book to acknowledge all of the escapades and rendezvous that I've had with many interesting, famous, not so. Your life, and I say this to say, your life has been colorful. That's
not the half of it. That's just a snippet.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And I was reading through all these names, these famous people. I was like, who knew? I've been knowing you since 5 ever. It's been longer than 4 ever. It's 5 ever.
All right.
And I don't even know this stuff. I was reading this. I was like, get out and stop. I didn't even know.
God's been good. That's all I can say. God has been good.
He has been good. And I love your stories. And anybody who has ever felt unseen, unworthy, worthless, needs the book. You need the book, because it's just, it just, Satan would have us think that we're alone, that nobody else is experiencing what we're experiencing.
Right.
Keep it to ourselves. And like you say, back in the day, just like that saying, what happens in this house stays in this house.
The house. Right,
yeah. It's like what happens in this house stays in this house. You know what I mean?
When I told my sister, I said, I'm writing a book. And she, what are you writing a book about? I said, my life. You're going to put that in the book? And I'm like, yes. My mom is dead. I don't have a husband. And God said, do it. So that settles it.
Yeah, he said it. So let's set it and forget it.
The next book will be much better because it'll be at an older age. I think this book here stops at age 18 or 20.
Really?
I went into college. Yeah. I think
I just want y'all to know it's a really easy read, and it just makes you think. It makes you kind of analyze your beliefs and how you grew up, and maybe like I saw myself in parts of the book, but then I saw other people that I love in other parts that felt this way and did these things and went through these things. So I thought it was really good, and I'm very proud of you and excited about what God is doing through you. So, what are some of the things that you hope to gain or you hope people get from reading the book?
Well, as a minister, I'm so busy inside the four walls until I just figured if I could do something outside of the four walls to get people's readership or attention. And I found out through friends that this book has made it into some women's shelters. I talk about being molested as a child, being raped at 18. The rape at 25 didn't make it into the book.
Yeah.
But just the battles that I had to fight because the enemy knew that God had a plan for my life. I used to preach under a fig tree as a child.
And I was going to bring that up because I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I used to preach. I used to be the doctor. I was everything. I didn't want to be the teacher because that was my mom. She was actually a teacher.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I did a lot of preaching under the fig tree, and the enemy just had it out for me. He's like, nope, you'll never make it. You'll never get through with this. What he's trying to get you to do, you won't be able to do it. And so all through life, I've had uphill battles, as they say. Eyes are still climbing.
Eyes are still.
And God has been good. He's been there all the time. Going through the divorce of my parents when I was very young. I was 4, and I can vividly remember the last day I saw my father. And I was a daddy's girl. I was the baby. And I can vividly remember that day, the last day I saw him, and they told me that he wouldn't be back. Mm-hmm. And you know how little girls want their dad. And I just went through life searching for a father until I realized he had been there all the time, and it was God.
Yes, that is so good.
And that's how the book, that's what it goes through. It chronicles that, and ending up with me finding out that I've been a member of God's household all my life because he says he knew you in your mother's womb. He predestined us before we even got here. Right. So he's intentional and he's strategic. Yes. So whatever you go through, whatever battles that you're going through, you can overcome them. We are overcomers. I used to be a victim. I used to blame everybody, but now I'm no longer a victim. I am victorious. And we are of the royal priesthood. We are of king's kids, and we all have a seat at the king's table, and we all deserve to be loved. I think my problem was without a dad, I felt unloved. I felt abandoned. But none of that was true. It was the enemy's plot to keep me from doing what God wanted me to do. And when God called me, I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, not me. Not all the things I've done, not all the places I've been that I shouldn't have been.
Right.
But God.
One thing about reading the book, I feel like some people at an early age, God has kind of called you, but you don't know, and you're trying to fit in with other people that he hasn't quite called in the same way. I kind of feel like I was like that too. Kind of because you struck me as pretty innocent. Like you were just
I was an introvert.
You loved everybody and you thought everybody was loved.
Thought everybody was my friend. Yes, all of that. I went through that. Naivety, as they call it.
So I think that when it hit you, it hit you harder than it would hit most people. Because you were just, when you say broken, damaged, dropped, and all that, I'm like, yeah, I get that so much. I get that. So,
well, I basically based the book on Mephibosheth in 2 Samuel chapter 9. That was Jonathan's son, who, when Jonathan was killed, the nurse was trying to save Mephibosheth from the enemy when he found out Saul and Jonathan had been killed, who was his grandfather and his father. Mm-hmm. And she was running with him, and she dropped him, and he was crippled for life.
Yeah.
And he ended up in a place, and my subtitle is Out of Lodabar. And Lodabar was considered a place of no pastors and no communication. And that was my problem because I did not know how to voice what was going on with me. I did not know how to voice what I was really feeling and what was happening to me, and being bullied, since I was 5 years old, and, in the house with a big sister who did a little bullying herself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I went through all of that. But Mephibosheth ended up, when David became king, David had made a covenant with Jonathan. That was his good friend. And he asked if there's anybody from the house of Saul or from Jonathan, because he wanted to keep that covenant. And someone told him, yes, there's Mephibosheth, his son, who's in Lodabar. And he sent his servant to go and get Mephibosheth from Lodabar and bring him back to the palace.
Yeah.
So no matter how far away from the palace we go, we can still come back and have a seat at the king's table.
Because that is so good. Yeah.
Exactly what David did. He gave him a seat. He restored to him all that he had lost, all the property and everything from his grandfather Saul and his father Jonathan, because that covenant that they had made.
Yes, that's so good. I remember that. I remember that story in the Bible. I heard a story today about a man and his wife driving, and she says, why don't we sit together anymore? They had a truck with the big bucket seats where there was no console. And he said, I haven't moved. That's God. We get away from him. We drift away. He hasn't moved. Yeah. And
he's been there all the time. But as you're growing in knowledge of him, your faith grows, because we all start out with mustard seed faith. I don't care who you are. And you can be the most faithful and still have a weakness somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nobody is invincible. Nobody's infallible. Nobody is perfect but God. And so when we grow, then we, like you say, growing and knowing, that's what we do. And then we start to showing. But
yes, girl.
To be a witness is what we are. And I consider myself a servant of the Lord. And if I can just help anybody, that's what I want to do. Put myself in a position to help people more on the outside of the four walls than on the inside. Because I felt like I'm still in church, but being in there, I feel like we're preaching to the choir, as they used to say. We all here, we all Christians, we're all saved, and we're all doing the same thing every Sunday.
Right.
Holler, run around, pray, worship, and go out. Some people go out the same way they came in. Because for whatever reason. But some people really need to be reached on a deeper level,
right?
On a more personal level, because there's some things you can't talk about with everybody.
You can't feed your pearl to swine, girl. You cannot. Hey, you guys, I have put the link. If you're watching on Facebook, I put the link to come straight to YouTube so you can watch it and you can share it with friends. I was looking at something you said. You said, I love this. You said, I knew God had created me in his image. I couldn't be half as bad as I was feeling about myself. Isn't that so true? Because, part of the beauty box is, like we say, knowing, growing, showing. We say it's a safe place for women to learn, to see themselves the way that Christ sees them. Because even ourselves, we see ourselves in a bad light. And it's not true. Feelings are not facts. We talk about that all the time. The Bible is the fact. That's where you need to get to go. So I love that so much. And the part about you felt dropped by people who were supposed to hold you up.
Just like Mephibosheth was dropped by the nurse that was supposed to be taking care of him. I felt dropped. And they used to say, when children didn't turn out right, somebody dropped the ball. So I incorporated that in there. So I felt like by my daddy leaving, I had been dropped.
Yeah.
And really, I got to the point, and I talk about it in the book, where I had done so many things trying to be like my daddy or find that love that I was missing until I felt like I had dropped myself.
Right.
So it becomes self-deprecating event, when you start to lose that hope. Yeah. And then you find Jesus, and then you say, oh, Lord, you've been here all the time.
Yeah.
I've been a little slow, Jesus. I was on that yellow bus.
He's looking. I always say Jesus. I don't know where I got it from. It's not original, but I always say Jesus is looking for a place to land his peace. But we're so busy striving and trying to manipulate and work everything out that we forget he's right there. He's right.
What my issue was is all my life I had been told you're going to be just like your daddy.
Oh, wow.
So that's what people need to stop doing with their children and grandchildren.
It's cursing them. It's a curse.
Bless them. Yeah, we need to put the blessing of God upon our children because, like me, I mean, if they're sensitive like I was, like I say, and an introvert, I took everything to heart, everything. So you're telling me I'm going to be just like my daddy, but then you're telling me my daddy is no good. You're telling me mama's no good. You know, you're saying these different things about the other parent, and you should stop doing that. Yeah. Because it sticks with the child and they're feeling like they either did something because I felt responsible for my mom's divorce.
Yeah.
I didn't know. She didn't tell me till I was 25 why my daddy actually left.
Right.
But once she told me, then I forgave her because she hadn't done anything anyway.
Right.
You know, and then I heard a minister say not long ago, a lot of times when your dad's not there, it's because God didn't want him there.
Yeah.
So, like I said, God is strategic and he's intentional and nothing happens by accident.
And his ways are definitely not our ways. We'll never figure it out.
Exactly. We won't figure it out, but we have to learn how to, as they say, take lemons and make the lemonade. But first of all, someone has to tell us that because if you don't know, you'll continue down that path and your life will be over before you know it. You know?
And you had some good lessons in forgiveness. I love what you said about, and I kind of got this a few years ago because I always say this to people who are mad at somebody else, that people can only give you what they've been given.
Exactly.
If they've never had love, it's going to be hard for them to love. If they've never had, you know, boundary, structure, or whatever, if they haven't been taught, it's how are they going to give it to you? I know that my
father. One thing about our culture, a lot of people never just went around telling their children that they love them. You know, I mean, I don't know if it was showed at the house or shown rather at the house, or, you know, if you don't see love, you don't know how love is supposed to look.
Right.
And if nobody is saying I love you, then you don't know if they love you or not. You know, so it wasn't, I think, until I got in my 20s. And when I would get off the phone with my mom, I'd say, I love you. And she started saying, I love you. And I mean, that did a whole lot for me.
That
a whole lot for me. All the way to the grave, she was saying, I love you. Oh. And I needed that because you had told me so much that I would be like my daddy. And that was something that I wasn't trying to be. I did want to be a musician like him, but that didn't happen either because God didn't have that plan for me. Besides, I could not have lived out of a suitcase.
Right. Yeah, I remember that part. It's like, no, that was not the life for me. That was not the life for
as much as I love singing. I don't think I could have made it on the road. I wouldn't have lasted a good week because I don't like being away from my bed for 3 days. I won't even go on a cruise right now.
Right. I'm too. At 3 days, I'm starting to want to go home.
Yeah, 3 days, I want my bed back.
Another thing you said that I loved, and this can speak to some of the ladies out there who maybe think you're too old, too tired, too whatever. You said that someone told you or something that the graveyard is filled with unwritten books. It's like a lot of people are gone. Nobody knows their story.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that ties into that second greatest commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. And how can we love them? By sharing our experiences so that they can maybe get some nuggets to help them in some kind of way. So, yeah.
The Bible says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. And it's no greater love than you can give than to share with somebody. Yes. Share with them what you've been through and how you came out of it. Because people need to know, you know, it's like I say, some people don't have anybody to talk to, discuss their issues with. Write it down, put it in a book. You know, nobody wanted to tell me how to write a book. I majored in journalism. I majored in communications. You know, after I was an introvert for so long and wouldn't speak up for myself. And I realized, you know, if you don't say something, people will just run all over you. I was bullied. So, you know, I was just keeping my peace, holding my peace, so to speak. But once I got into communications and learned how to vocalize my thoughts,
Mhm.
life became a whole lot better. It became a whole lot easier because the Bible says you have not because you ask not. So if
Yeah.
you don't open your mouth and ask for what you need, you may never get it.
Right,
You may
right,
never
right.
get it. So yeah, we need to tell people what we've gone through so that it can help somebody. Absolutely.
It's a testimony. One of my favorite testimonies in the Bible is when they were trying to condemn Jesus, and Jesus had just restored this man's sight. And they were like, did he do this? Is he this? This man's like, I don't know about all of that. All I know is I was blind and now I can see. See,
Okay.
we think we have to know every word, and they might ask us something we don't know. We just need to share how he's worked in our lives.
In our lives. That's what he told me when he told me to preach. He said, I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? He said, feed my sheep. I'm like, me? And he said, yeah. I said, well, what do I tell him? He said, tell him what I've done for you. I said, okay. I said, well, Lord, I didn't finish college. He said, I never went. I said, well, Lord, what if they don't like me? He said, they didn't like me either.
Lord.
So Jesus and I had a lot in common. I remember his family wanted to put him away because they thought he had lost his mind. And that's where I am right now with my family. They've turned their back on me, which is okay because the Bible said, just pray for them. That's what you do. So
Yeah.
I'm praying for them that they'll come around. But there's so much jealousy and envy within the family until it's like, you don't know what to do. Well, you know what you're gonna do, but it's like, how will they react? And then it comes to the point where you say, well, what does God say?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. What does God say?
And
So
I love the new thing. How other people feel about you is none of your business.
not your problem. That's their issue.
And this is what some of the people are saying. When it seems like life is falling apart, it's falling into place. Alice Richardson. God uses suffering to give you focus and make us get out of our comfort zone and be productive. And then somebody said, Janet, I don't see where it is, but she said something else. I'll find it. But these are some of the comments. Yeah, y'all tell us what you think. Do you have any questions for the author? Put it in the comments section.
And I see one says, God is the ultimate listener and therapist. And yes, he is. But when you're talking to people who are not Christians and don't know who God is, you have to start from square one.
Mm-hmm.
First you have to tell them who Jesus is and what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll be able to establish that relationship with him where they can talk to him if they don't talk to anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we got to get the word in us, because if Jesus, when he was tempted, fought Satan with the word, how much more do we need to know it so we can put that back? Because my favorite thing is to say, Jesus, you said. The
weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Yeah. Right? So good. So good.
And no weapons formed against us will prosper. And it amazes me how, like, when I had cancer, I ended up kind of going through that alone because, when you're having chemo, I was having chemo, they was telling me I couldn't be around people or whatever. And mom was down and I was kind of isolated. And I would come up 7 of the 14 stairs in the house to the landing, and I would just have to stand there to catch my breath. I'm still going through chemo issues, but I'm going through it with God now, and I'm still trusting him to heal me. Like I said, if I'm not there yet, I just know that he's a perfecting God. I'm not perfect, but he's a perfecting God, and I'm trusting him to do just what he say and heal me completely.
And we're in the beauty
box. If he doesn't do it on this side, I know he'll do it on the other side.
Praise God. And in the beauty box, we always say we're still on the potter's wheel. He's working on us. He's still working on us. He's molding us to look. And the prayer is to look more and more like him every day. And what I love is that you're just keeping it moving. You know what I mean? Because I feel like as long as there's breath in our bodies, there's things for us to do.
I'm back in school now.
Look at you!
My second semester. I'm back in school because I hated school when my mama said I wanted to go to California, New York to pursue my music. She said, you're going to college. And I was an unhappy camper for real.
Right.
Reluctantly. And I hated it because I was held back as a child because my birthday fell in September. We went to St. James Kindergarten. You remember that?
No, I don't remember St. James.
Well, that was before you got into real school. So we went to St. James. So I had school before school, and I was tired of school by the time I got to the end of school. So,
oh my God,
I'm back in college. Thank God.
Well, it's the end of our program, but you can tell them like something you want to leave them with, but you could also, because we know you're a poet and we know you sing, you could also share something. Do you want to share anything with us to leave the ladies with? Well, before you do that, I do want to tell you that I put the banner in there, how you can get the book, Dropped, Broken, and Restored. You can get the book on Amazon, and I put the banner right down there because y'all support her. It's Dropped, Broken, Restored by R.L. King. Go to Amazon, put her name and the name of the book, and you can get it right there to support R.L. King, one of the beauty boxers. We love her, and you'll be seeing more of her, I am so sure. Anyway, so is there anything you'd like to leave us with? Because I heard she has a great voice. A poem?
Cite a little bit of my poem real quick that I had published, I think, back in the 90s. Okay. And it says, if we would solve our problems with just a little care, there would be more peace and love that we all could share. If we would stop and recognize the danger of vicious lies that are sometimes spread throughout the globe, but that with peace, kings and queens, we would get our robes. If peace could reach every earthen heart, then we'll all be a little more caring, and peace will be a start. That's it.
I love that. Peace. I love that, because most people are striving for it, but we need to protect it. It was given to us.
That's what the world needs today.
Yes.
Peace and the joy of the Lord, because the joy of the Lord will be your strength. And that's what's gotten me through.
Yes, Jesus is where the joy is. Praise God. I appreciate you for being
Hallelujah.
with us. I pray that you guys will get her book so you can see all of because you didn't hear any, like 10th of what's in it. So go check it out. Go get it, order it, read it, and tell me what you think. Love you so much, and thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.
Let me see if there's any last minute stuff that I'm missing, because I don't want to. Okay, I didn't want to miss anybody. But anyway, okay, so we'll be in touch, and I'll give you the link so you can share this for people who weren't here so they can see our beautiful queen, R.L. King.
All right, Eva, love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day.
You too.